Guru Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shimoji Baba ki Jai. Then what problem is left? Please come closer so everyone can.
I can stay in a state of silence, but I cannot stay there all the time.
Yes.
So how can I be there? Like I can feel this kind of state of easiness when I'm in a retreat or presence of Guru, but not all the time. So
When you're not in any particular state, whether there is peace, whether there is noise, you see, where are you watching all of this from?
sometimes from the mind, sometimes from the.
So try to watch from the mind and show me how you do it. Watch what is here now from the mind. You see? The mind is just a bundle of thoughts. It can only be watched. It cannot watch. So what you probably mean is that what you are watching, you are interpreting with the mind and wondering what's in it for me, or what does anything mean. In that way you can say we are watching from the perspective of the mind, but we can never watch as the mind. So even all of this interpretation of what is, all of this meaning making, is being watched, isn't it? You see all of this.
Yeah.
The one that sees all of this, how do you know about that one?
I just know it.
You just know it. But if I say you don't know it, I'm not saying that, but suppose, you see, how can you prove to me that you know it? Do you see it? Does it have a color? Then how do you know it?
I don't know.
Is it just a concept?
But then if I take time, I can see it. But when I'm busy with mind, like.
Okay, well, we'll go there in a minute, yes? So the I that knows it, is it separate from it? Take your time on this. You see, I just know it. The one that is aware of everything, that one, I just know. It has no color, it has no shape, It is not just a mental concept. You see? And yet, I know it. Now, this I that knows it, is it different from it?
Mm. Different. It's everything inside why,
Mm.
so it's different. Mm.
You have to look,
Mm.
not think. Shall I make it simpler for you? Yeah. Shall I make it simpler?
Mm.
You are perceiving this hand.
Mm.
You see? So, the you that is perceiving this hand,
Mm.
how do you know that that is you?
Because it's part of me.
Yeah. Which part of you?
Hand.
Huh? See, it's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. See, which part is it?
Hand.
Hand?
Hand.
It's your hand?
Yeah.
This, yes, this. No, but that which perceives it,
Yeah.
you see? How do you know about that one? You say, I perceive the hand.
Mm.
So, hand is clear, perceive is clear.
Mm.
The I that perceives the hand,
Mm.
how is that? How do you know it is you?
Mm. Because this is something that there's something that watching everything.
Yes.
Mm.
You are watching everything or no?
You mean what?
You.
Any?
Emmy is just a name.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
But are you not watching everything?
Yes.
You are.
Mm.
So this you,
Mm.
are you watching that?
Mm.
Can it be watched?
Yeah. I can, and I cannot. Right. Sometimes I'm not really clear about this distinction. Sometimes I watch as but sometimes I'm I become together with mind. Like I'm not really clear yet.
Actually, it is impossible to become together with the mind. Try to make sensual. Mix the watching
Yeah.
with the mind.
Mm. Mm.
It is a non-existent problem. that door open, my dear? One tip I will give you is resolve it for you for right now. Don't worry about what happened in the past, and don't worry about whether you can keep it in the future. You see, you just have to resolve it for yourself now. You see, for the future one, some future Ananta will come. You see, for the past is gone anyway. Yes, so just for right now. You are aware of perception. You are aware of the hearing of these words. Yes. And this is for everyone. Most important inquiry. You are aware of the perception of this sound, isn't it? The you that is aware of perception, the you that is aware of the perception, what is the shape of that? If it doesn't have a shape, it doesn't have a size, it doesn't have a color, you see, then on what basis are you saying it is I? Don't think about it. Just look. I am aware of my perception, but this I itself is not perceivable, isn't it? Nobody is confused about this. This I that is aware of all perception, it is known without having to think, without having to perceive. Because it is empty of qualities, empty of attributes. It is nirguna. And yet, it is never lost. It always is yourself. This self-knowledge or Atma Gyan is universal. Now, is it something that you have to stay as? Can you not stay as this? Can you step out of this and become something else? Can't. Not stay as this.
No, it's always here.
Always here. And it is always you. Isn't it? No other you is ever born.
But then my question is when during the day when something happened and then I get caught up with these things and I tend to forget who am I. So I want to be established strongly in that state.
Yes.
So how can I do
this? You discovered one I, which is the self. It is always there. And now you are speaking of an I that wants something. Are they the same?
Maybe not.
Check and tell me. That which is aware of all perception, what does it want?
No.
Doesn't want anything. So the I which wants, even wants to stay. It sounds like a good request. I just want to stay like this. But this I that wants to stay like this is which one?
Mind.
Just the mind, you see? Just the mind. which takes you away from the guidance which was just to solve it for now. You see? It is always talking about future, always regretting or feeling pride about the past. You see? Past and future. But right now, what will you have? Right now, do you want something?
No.
Is there something special about this right now? The mind will tell you it is because you are in satsang. You see? That's why you are like this. When you go into the marketplace of the world, then you will be different. You see, but you will never be different. You are always this awareness. You see? So the I which wants this is making this into a state, but actually it is not a state. It is that which is aware of all states. Now, what you have to do is pretend that you are in the marketplace of the world. You see? Pretend right now that you are in a tough relationship or something, whatever bothers you, yes, and become something else and show me how you do it. So make yourself suffer. How will you do it?
Mind?
Yes. So means at least one thought has to come. Isn't it? Can you suffer without the thought coming? So first prerequisite is the thought has to come. You see? But with the coming of the thought, do you just suffer automatically?
You means business?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. The you that you discover yourself to be, you see, without using any term necessary. You see? So, is it possible for you, the very you found, to suffer just because the thought appears? Suppose the thought is, I think I am a green papaya. Will you suffer? Or if the thought comes, I think I am not free yet. I am not getting this. You see? You may suffer. You see? So, but with the one who's trying to not be a green papaya will suffer from the thought of being a green papaya. Okay, let me take a simpler example. So suppose you're a sports person, yeah? You've trained for 10 years to try and be a track athlete, you see? And you're trying to get into the Olympic Games. You see? So the thought comes, I don't think that you're good enough to get into the Olympic Games. Because you had that intention for 10 years. You see? But if that thought comes to you, I don't think I will be in the Olympic Games, will you suffer from it? No, because you've not, it has not been a desire that you had, isn't it? So it is not in the thought itself that the suffering is contained. Otherwise, we would suffer from every thought. Is it? It is what relationship that thought has with our identity. What we think it means for me. And for the seeker, a thought like, I don't think I'm getting this, or how will I stay in this, will make us suffer. Why? Because we identify with that thought and take it to be real or true about me. Yeah. But it is never true about the one that you. So just allowing all these thoughts to come and go without giving them your belief, without identifying. So just remaining open and empty is the way to freedom. Just remain open and empty, no matter what comes. You see? And if something comes and you not open and empty, you grab it, you see? Then the guilt thought will come. Ananta had told me to be open and empty, but I grabbed it. You see? So don't grab the guilt thought at least.
Yeah.
Let that come and go. Because open and empty is available to you every moment. You cannot start this moment closed. You see? Try it. Be closed. Try it. This moment, right now. You see? It is impossible. This is the greatest gift and the best news that every moment you are free. You see? So when you do get caught, then don't buy into the desert thoughts. You see? The thoughts which are coming after that, you see, which will make you seem like you're an unworthy seeker and you're not doing well, you're not following instruction. Let that come and go. If you buy that also, you see, then let the next one come and go. Whenever you are reminded of the guidance, just use the guidance then. Don't worry about what is past. So then you will find that it becomes more and more difficult to suffer. And you do not, the self does not in its something limited unless it is closed this way. You know this restaurant called Yo Sushi? You don't know this?
In Bangalore?
It's all over the world.
No.
It's not in Italy?
No. Yo Sushi?
Yo Sushi, yeah. You don't know this one? Okay, so this is a very nice restaurant.
Okay.
What they do is they have a belt.
Yeah.
You know, like you know this? Yeah, so they have this conveyor belt which goes all through the restaurant.
Yeah.
So the chefs, they just place the sushi bowls, you know, place the sushi bowl on the conveyor belt. You see? So you can pick whatever you want. So this life is like that. And you know what the conveyor belt is? These thoughts. They come. So your job is only simple. Don't pick up any dish because you are on a diet. You are on a diet. So you are not to pick up any sushi, even if you love. You can pick up sushi in this world. So let all the dishes come.
Okay.
You see? Sometimes some salad come. You see? You may feel like it applies to me. You pick it up. You pick it up. Then what happens? The main course will come saying, but you were told not to pick it up. Why are you pick it up? You see, let that main course go. Sometimes you pick up the main course also. You see, I'm doing something wrong. You see? Then the dessert comes. It says, no, you are such an unworthy seeker. You are just not getting it. You let the dessert go. Sometimes you pick up the dessert. So it's okay. Your only job is not to pick up the next dish. Let it just come and go.
Okay.
You see? Because you are on a diet from your mind.
Okay. I will remember whenever I go to sushi restaurant.
So that's a simple metaphor.
Yeah.
And then I heard about this first. Before I even saw it, I heard about it. And I felt this is very good satsang. Because in the mind, it just comes like this.
Yeah.
Two dishes don't come at the same time. Even if they come very fast, it is always one message. You see? It's easy. Just let them come and go. You see, like the Zen master said, don't serve it tea. You see, what is the tea? The tea of your belief, the tea of your identification. That makes it very simple. Now, one dish which will come, which is very attractive, will be the notion of, am I free yet? See? Just let that come and go. How does my life change? Because I am finding the truth. You see, let that come for any worldly benefit. It is not, the discovery of the truth is not meant to help the life of the non-existent one. You see, because this is what the mind will use to trouble you. Whatever comes, you remain open and empty, you just let it go. Don't bother even with the idea of freedom. Because many who chase freedom for 30, 40, 50 years, they keep chasing freedom and keep thinking they are almost there. But this almost there is just a mind trick. So the recognition is very simple. You saw that you are aware of all your perceptions. This you that is aware is known, but not known in the mind, and it is not known as a perception. It's just simply aware of itself, but not in any quality, not in any shape, not in any size. And also you see that the only way to suffer is to pick up from the conveyor belt of your sushi. Yeah? And even if you pick up, because that is our habit to pick up, you see, then not to feel guilty about it, just let go. Then, whenever you realize, you see, then you remember the point. That's it. That's enough. Just let go. Whenever we are empty, the recognition is clearly apparent to us. So all you have to do is come to this simplicity, and you don't even have to come to it. It's already there now. It just is always. Before you decide to believe in the hypnosis of the mind, see, because it can come, but it'll say but something, but nothing after but is ever true. Nothing before but is also ever true. No words can truly represent any reality. Not even the phenomenal they can represent. Yeah. Father, when there is certain joy. A certain joy is there. Is that joy because forget about cause and effect. Because okay, I'm finding myself. There is a layer of desire in me that I want to do the most. So, is this joy some kind of deceit from the mind? Is it like a deception? Yeah, from the mind. That you must be making good progress. Like that. That's why this joy is coming. Like that. And if the joy didn't come, then also, you see, so it is never in what is appearing or arising. That is never the deception. It is always the deception in the interpretation. You see, because joy come, the mind uses it and says, see, you're making good progress. Good, good, good. Still makes a shape out of you. You see, joy doesn't come. It says, see, other people, they are getting joy. They are making such progress. You see, you are not making progress. So, whatever is appearing or not appearing, is deceive you. So, nothing, like Guruji said, nothing in the world, no appearance has inherent meaning. You see? No appearance has inherent meaning. It is only the perspective that we put to it. You see, and what is the perspective? The interpretation. Joy is some kind of root of just there is no cause for anything. Nothing is the effect of anything else. If that is too much, then say that the only cause is consciousness. So why joy coming? Consciousness. Why joy not coming? Consciousness. Consciousness is the only cause. If we are attached to the notion of cause, you see? So otherwise, this why, you see? Go to the first why. Why are you sitting here? Because I wanted to come to Satsang. Why did you want to come to Satsang? Because I wanted freedom. Why did you want freedom? Because I was suffering. Why were you suffering? Because of my relationship. Why did you have a relationship? Because you told me to have. Why did you see? What? Why do you exist? All of this possible only in existence, isn't it? So why do you exist? See? That is immaculate conception. So if the root itself is immaculate, is empty of effect, then all cause and effect is nothing, or that one immaculate one, the I amness, is the cause of all. Why you are there? Because consciousness if you apply to other things in time and space, you see, it's a linear story. We get caught in this sort of intellectual, then it is never ending. And if you came to know why, how would that help you anyway? It will just make you, if we start to believe that my joy is coming because of my sadhana or my practice or the fruit of my self-recognition, you see, then again it will make you into this object which needs to do more of that when the seeming cause and effect does not seem to work. Then you start questioning your self-recognition itself. This happens to most, no? That we started to take the fruits or the seeming byproducts to be the true benchmark. And when those benchmarks don't appear, then we feel like we are not doing it right. That's why people say inquiry stopped working for me. You see? Inquiry can never not work. You see? But it doesn't have to work in the sense even that it will always give you peace. You see? So don't attach to anything that is appearing. You see? Just even the label joy is very restrictive. We have never experienced the same thing twice. Never experienced the same thing twice. But we have these very broad labels and we start to believe that this is what's happening to us. Can we leave whatever is appearing empty of all labels? Simply put, just don't know. Don't know what joy is. don't know what absence of joy is, then how will we attach? It is impossible to attach without label.
You said it is aware of itself. When I see from here, there is no doubt that I am aware of everything. I am aware. But I am inferring my presence based upon my awareness of everything.
You are inferring your presence?
Yeah, I am here because I am aware of everything. I am here.
Okay. So because you are perceiving everything, you are inferring your presence. Is that it? Okay. So which mode of perception? So let's do this experiment. So if all your modes of perception, one by one, stop working. So first sight went away, then hearing went away, and taste, touch, smell, all of these went away. With which one going? Would you also go? Sight, you didn't close your eyes. Sight went away. Then did you go? Or are you still here? Still here. Suppose that there was nothing to hear. There is no sound. Would you go or you're still here? Same for touch, taste, smell. At which point do you go?
I don't know because I am only perceiving the thoughts.
If there is no thought, in the space between two thoughts, did you go away?
I don't see the space between two.
That's not possible. Otherwise, the mind would just be da 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 da. You see, there's always a gap between two thoughts. Otherwise, you would not distinguish between them. So look more closely.
Silence is there. If we are calling silence.
Yeah. So in that silence, which is the momentary absence of thought, are you still there or no?
I am aware of silence. I am there. There is no doubt.
This is it. This is it. So your being or your existence is not an inference based on any perception. Because you looked at your external senses and you looked internally, and even in the absence of mind, in the no mind state, you are.
I am only aware of even the silence or the wakeful state, silence or the emptiness of the mind.
So the absence of perception, even the absence of perception, you are aware of. So this, your existence, you that is aware of, is not inferred. It can be reported in that way. If you're talking about the reporting, then that is different. Are you speaking of the ability to report only when perception is there? Just ask your question again.
Okay, when you give the example of hand, there is no doubt I am seeing it.
Yes. Why is there no doubt that you are seeing it? Let me ask the why question. There should be doubt, no? Because the eye that is seeing it is not seeing.
No, I is seeing.
I
am seeing.
Slowly. So you say there is no doubt that I am let me expand on what you said. Tell me if it is accurate or not. You say there is no doubt that I am aware of the perception of the hand. Okay. So why is there no doubt that you are aware of the perception? What are you calling I?
I perceive.
Huh?
I am.
That which is aware even of perception. That which is aware even of perception, you calling that I, isn't it? You see, even if you were not check if this is true, I am aware of my perception. But this I which is aware of my perception, we say there is no doubt. Beautiful. But how come there is no doubt? Did you see this I?
I did not say.
You did not see it. Did you? Is it just a thought you're having? Is the I just a thought you're having?
Yeah.
So that which is aware that you are having this thought is also just a thought. Again, don't think about it because in the intellect it will be very burdensome, these words. That which is aware that you're having this I thought is also just a thought. You say it cannot be perceived, yes. Now I asked you whether the I which is aware is just a thought. So every thought comes and goes. So this awareness also comes and goes. So it is neither a thought nor a perception of any sort. And yet it is undoubtable, like you said. In your innocence, you said that. You see. Now the loss of innocence, the intellect will try to put some problem there, you see. So but actually it is very simple. I am aware of my perception. This I cannot perceive. You see? And yet I am aware that I am aware. Let these words flow through to you. Don't try to keep them in your intellect. You see? The I that is aware of my perception itself is not perceived, and yet I am aware that I am aware. See? This awareness is never lost. And because it does not have phenomenal basis, this recognition does not have phenomenal basis, we call it intuitive knowledge, independent of phenomena. So self-knowledge or Atma Jnana is intuitive because it does not have a worldly basis. It does not have a basis in perception. It does not have a basis in intellectual knowledge. And yet, it is just so simple. A child knows it. Somebody who's materialistic knows it. Somebody who's into spirituality knows it. It is that universal.
Can I, let me, for example, if I am wearing a costume of a bear, now as an actor, I will play the actor bear is sleeping. But inside the costume,
Too much work, no, in this example. So why don't we speak about what is right now? To find the truth, we don't have to go too far.
I mean, I am not, I don't know myself. I know everything else, but I don't know myself.
So that which is aware of the perception of this hand, you know that it is you,
Yeah, it is me.
that you know yourself. There is no other self to know. Where you, at which layer of your existence you want to know yourself? You want to know it at the intellectual layer, you cannot know it there. You want to know it as a perception, you cannot know it there. You only know it where it is always known, and that you can never lose. That's why my job is simple. Where do you want to know yourself? Like if you knew yourself, how would you confirm it that now I know myself?
Because when I know myself and which is not myself, I will be totally separate from which is not myself. But now that is not the case. Now I am mixed with what is not myself, my body, my mind. That is my conduct a business like body and mind.
Awareness will never conduct business. So business will always be conducted as the body mind only. But you may start to feel like the whole universe is your body mind. Okay, let's not go there. So what evidence will convince you that you know yourself?
When I see clearly the difference between me and the rest.
When you see the difference?
This is me and this is not me. There is a clarity.
But isn't this non-duality that there are no two? Because some would have said, when I see no difference between anything at all, then I will say I know myself. See? So what is troubling you again is your intellect. You're trying to plug the holes in the intellect which can never be plugged. See? And this is the primary addiction for everyone. Since you have come, we've had the same conversation, isn't it? So what is happening is that because there is a gap in your intellect, you see, there's a gap of a valid concept to put there, you feel like, okay, this is what is missing. You see? If you didn't the intellect, what's the problem? Are you one or two without the intellect?
Without intellect, there is nothing.
Yeah.
There is awareness, knowing everything, but it is nothing.
That's it. See, what is the intellect? The attempt to solve non-existent problems for the non-existent one. The feeling that I am coming to valid conclusions using my reasoning, you see, is the posing as if I am separate from myself. Would you be all right if you had no problem? What did you do with your time? I'm saying it half jokingly. Because many times it just feels like if I don't have this seeking problem anymore, it's just so apparent, then what will I do? It's like a prisoner whose prison sentence is coming to an end, but he's starting to worry. I don't know what to do in the outside world anymore. The mind will keep telling you, of course, but something is incomplete. Something is incomplete. Something is incomplete. It is not possible that anything is incomplete. Is it? It is just the the sort of death of selfishness. Is it? Like, I want something for me. You see? And it is reminded over and over to you that it is not what you think you are that will come to completion. It is what you actually are which is ever complete. You see? But what you think you are, and the lawyer for that one, the proposer of that one, you see, will keep complaining, saying, but no, but I have to get this answer. I don't know myself. But you only know yourself. Even to say, I don't know myself, you are implying that you know yourself, actually. Let your intellect deal with that. Even when you say, I don't know myself, you know that you don't know yourself. So you know yourself to say that. Otherwise, who are you talking about? Slowly. Even when we say, I don't know myself, you see, if we didn't know ourselves, who are we talking about? You're talking about yourself.
I don't know myself as expected by.
As expected by intellect. Very good. It cannot be known as expected by intellect. As expected is enough. It will not be known as expected. Because it is not a perception. It is empty of all. It's just so simple. But we have made it into something glorious. So we expect fireworks and something. Like we are expecting some phenomenal firework, you see, in this recognition, which has actually never truly been lost. At least a halo. At least a halo. Something. Yes, for those who are wondering about the internet, we still not at the end of our internet issue. We're going to do some more complaining to the service provider and see what happens. Trying to find yourselves as a perception, you see, or as a product of your intellect is like, what is a good metaphor? Sometimes they say trying to use a hammer to cut your fingernails, or trying to use a weighing scale to measure space or measure distance. It just cannot be done that way. And 99.9% of all spiritual seekers are trying to do it that way. They're waiting for that ultimate experience, but not realizing that what they themselves are so confused. They think that it is empty of all qualities and attributes. But if it is empty of all qualities and attributes, then how will you have an experience or perception of? So, so when we stop looking in that direction, we see that the self which is aware of all perception, but itself not a perception, I have never lost. It is always here. The only trouble is that the mind cannot make anything out of it. So it will just keep saying, but you didn't find anything. I didn't find anything. Or it will present to you an image of some dark and empty void and saying, that's what you are. But even that is a qualitative perception. Black, dark. When we are empty of conceptualizing, are we lost? Empty of interpretations, are we lost? Empty of mental understanding, are we lost? Empty of helps. Is there any concern about how you run this life? Or is there even this false idea? Whatever you want out of your spirituality, you will not get. Hopefully. Whatever always is will be recognized. Are we okay with that? So, what do we want out of our spirituality? What do we want out of our spirituality? You cannot say, if you're sitting in a particular place, you cannot say, I have a desire to sit where I'm sitting. You're already sitting, so that's no longer a want. So that which is cannot be a, which already is cannot be a product of or object of desires. Everything else is nonsense. If you accept that, this journey will be super short. Super short. But if you still say, okay, in the discovery of what is, I want this to happen for me. You may not say the for me part, but that is implied. That can cause a lot of confusion. You will not get anything. That is my blessing. I was trained sort of master. Nothing can be added to you. Nothing can be given to you. All we are doing is recognizing this. What you are, that is it. What you think you are can never be. What you think you want to become can never be. Because it is like this. And also it is the most difficult journey in the world. Because none of your expectations have anything to do with it. Okay. Father, as I remain open, a lot of stale ideas and emotions appear and reappear. And certain repulsion to these objects seem to derail me as I try to run away from them. Please suggest any tips. Just whatever rails you on, just burn them. Then you cannot be derailed. If you think you're on some rails, just derail yourself. Then nothing else can derail you. Because this is all just misidentifying, isn't it? All just misidentifying. Just forget about it. You have no such problem. Number one way to save time in spirituality is don't try to solve non-existent problems. And every problem is a non-existent. You may be convinced deeply that this is your problem, but you will recognize sooner or later that it is. So even this notion, you see, that as I remain open, you see, become more open than that. There should no longer be I remaining open, no longer remaining I or remaining or even open. When you're open, you're not remaining open. It's very important to clarify this, because you may feel like when you think you're remaining open, you are actually open. The open is that open that you can't even say open anymore. Like open and close loses its meaning. Remaining and not remaining loses its meaning. I and no I loses its meaning. Because if you convert it into a state, then every state can be attacked, like you're saying. Open is independent of whatever may be appearing. Doesn't matter. Nothing can disturb you because you're not holding on to anything. You can only be shaken if you take a shape, no? Isn't it? Can you be shaken if you didn't take a shape? Like shake, let the space be shaken. How will you shake this space? Yeah, you need a space to shake. No? You need a shape to shake. Space, shape. So unless you make a shape out of yourself, how can you be disturbed? You see? So it's a good contemplation to see. Is it if you're how can shake? What perception can come and shake you? You have no shape. What thoughts can come and shake you? You have no shape. But if there's an idea that I am staying open, then even in that idea there is a shape. You see? And then these attacking thoughts, the mind attacks can seem to shake us up. But if you're that open that the concept of open also doesn't remain. Finish. Your mind will propose that it is impossible to be that open. That's what your mind will propose. But I'm here to show you that it is not. I cannot be attacked by anything in this world. And if this entire universe was to go to pieces, it would not touch my reality. Good. No problem left. Can you have a problem without a shape? You love the shape so much that you're willing to undergo all these problems. To give yourself a shape is to invite trouble. So do you love the shape so much that you're willing to go through all this trouble? That is the crux of spirituality. Do you love your image so much that you're willing to go through lifetimes and lifetimes of suffering to try and perfect that image? Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Srimati Baba ki Jai. Guru Kripa Keval.